No.
This should be a fun YouTube live.
Get
Oh,
it
wait.
on. You can do it.
He wasn't even recording.
Well, no, I hit it. It's just what didn't start yet. All right, let's see what happens.
Here we go. We're live. Hopefully.
Hello.
Hopefully.
We got John and Denise. Welcome back to On the Runs. We got OTR Live this time.
The returning champions are they're arriving.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed re-listening to your episode this week, John. For the sole purpose of the shoes, because I had already forgot what I written down for shoe recommendations. So I was like, ooh, I gotta go back and like figure out which ones to look into again. So I got myself the list.
Good. Nice.
I am making the post live.
He's making the post. We've also got Denise. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. We've heard wonderful things about you.
I've heard great things and seen great things about you guys as well online. So I'm excited to be here.
Excellent.
Denise, is this your first podcast?
It's not. I did a small one with one of our friends. And
Cool.
It was fun. I'd never done anything like that before. And he was like a really good leader and just kind of walked me through it. So but
You guys are pros.
Yeah, well, sort of.
Well, we are live and we have Denise and John here. Erica, I feel like I haven't seen in a while. I just flew back from Virginia Beach. You guys live in Virginia, so we're kind of close. Probably not that close at all. But
it's hot here, ain't it?
It was. I went for a run this morning on the boardwalk, and thankfully it wasn't as hot as it was the other day when I went for a run on the boardwalk. But we are back because when we interviewed you, you had a couple big races coming up, and your episode dropped this Tuesday. So we teased we'll have you back for an OTR Live, a quick recap of how Eastern States went, how the ring went. I think there was another race in there. And then we got Denise because she's just awesome. And there's this love story we talked about, and there's two sides to every story. And I want to hear her side of it. So Erica, where do we start?
I don't know. I feel like I want to kind of let John see where do you want to go, John? I know that your races were.
I'm just gonna get this out of the way. I DNF'd Eastern States. It was rough. Best advice: if you run Eastern States, do not ride the cutoffs. Stay well ahead of the cutoffs. Where did you meet me to pace? What was that? Heiner? Stay
mile 40.
Yeah. So I mean, like, stay elite. Like, make sure if you run Eastern States, be like at least a couple hours ahead of the cutoff when getting to Heiner, because even if you have a buffer, you may still DNF the race. So a lot of my friends DNF'd. I mean, yeah, it was a rough weekend. Awesome race, beautiful course.
Was this your first Eastern States?
What's that?
Was it your first time doing Eastern States?
Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah, it's a wonderful race. I mean, it's put on by some all-stars. Yeah, I had a great time, but unfortunately, I didn't walk away with the buckle.
Why don't you take us back then to just before the race? You show up, tell everyone, not everyone listening might know, tell everyone where Eastern States is, what the race is, and give us paint us a picture of what was going on before the race. So and where your mind was at, where your psyche. Did you take a poop before you started? The deets.
The keys.
We were fired up. I mean, like, we had we camped out right by the start, so like, we all got good sleep. It was a long drive. I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere pretty much. So like, it's a pretty long drive. What was it, like 6 hours?
Yeah, it was at least 6 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it was a long drive. But yeah, I mean, we were in good spirits the whole way.
We ate a ton of food before.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, shout out to Jennifer Rankin hooking up all that good food. It was really nice. Yeah, so she took care of us. Yeah, I mean, we had a great time. It's one of those races where, like, everything was awesome, but I DNF'd. It just happens sometimes. It sucks.
It's okay. You DNF, you get a good finish, you win the race, you're going to have a good story no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So was this more of like a weather thing, or like you just weren't feeling it?
So I rode sometimes I can get away with riding the cutoffs. Like, I just was going real easy through the front half, because the front half is rough. I mean, there's a lot of vert. I was surprised it wasn't like super technical like Massanutten here. I mean, there's some spots, but like there wasn't like big chunky rocks like I was thinking there was going to be like at Massanutten here in Virginia. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of vert, and I mean, it wasn't super hot out, but it was hot enough. I mean, there's just like a lot of stuff. But But yeah, main thing that was my undoing was just riding the cutoffs too loose with the cutoffs. That was my undoing.
Are they really strict cutoffs? Like, what are we talking?
Well,
Like, so,
that's the
oh, go ahead.
no, that's the thing with it. So like it's a 36 overall, 36 hours, right?
36 hours.
Yeah, so
Okay.
36-hour cutoff. So you think like, I got plenty of time here and there, but like you don't want to be you don't want to be anywhere near the cutoffs at all. I mean, basically I bonked out really hard trying to catch up, like after mile 26. Oh, and I did something really dumb too. Like around like I want to say 30 at mile 35, I got lost for like 2 miles. It was so dumb
Oh
because
no.
like there was lightning and rain, and like I missed I was like just looking at the ground, and I or just distracted with something. I missed like a clear marking, and I just went the wrong way, and that ate up some time. So like after like really pushing it to catch up on cutoffs, I then had to turn around and do the same thing over again. Like it's all on me though. I should have seen that, and I shouldn't have been behind the cops anyway to begin with. So yeah, it was all self-inflicted wounds. Well, I got no way to blame but me.
I'm looking at a picture of the course map here. This is my first time doing research for tonight's pod, traveling all day, but it's a loop. It's 103 miles. There is a ton of description. So I'm not going to read that to you and bore you guys, but at what point did it become rain and thunder?
It was like a mile for me. It was like I think we're like right around like mile 34.
It was around there. Yeah, it was a tornado. It was more than
Oh
that.
yeah, I forgot about that.
This is Mr. Tornado.
Mr. Tornado.
Because
there was a tornado
he
warning.
brought it with the last episode. Wow.
Yeah, that was I was listening to that there was a tornado warning the last time he was on. So I was at the campground with his friends that he had gone out to do the race with, and they both DNF'd, and so they were back at the campground with me. So after they DNF'd, he tried to make a go for it with on his own.
I tried my best.
And they weren't feeling super well. Neither one of them were. So we were there and we were talking about like their experience, and a ranger came up and he said, I just want you guys to know you should probably find shelter. And I said, why? And they said, because there's a tornado warning. And I was like, but I said, we have friends out on the course. And he's like, I don't know what to tell you.
So, they're dead. Just go home. Show's over.
Before I met up with John, before he came through, one of our other friends did. And he had told me that when he was underneath the power lines, it was thunder, lightning. He's like, well, what am I going to do? He's just running there, thunder, lightning, rain, tornadoes. So
sounds like
that is scary.
And that's when I met up with him to go run with him. And by that point, he was very close to the cutoffs. And
I got to give a shout out to Scott Lee from Virginia Happy Trails Running Club. He did finish. He was the only one out of like our little group that finished. So he pulled it off. I mean, like he was the only one. I mean, a lot of really good runners DNF'd. I was really surprised. So like, it's weird. It's like one of those things where you feel bad you DNF, at the same time you're like, oh well, that guy DNF'd. Like, but you shouldn't feel like that. It's your it's your thing. But at the same time, I was like, it's not the end of the world. But I don't know. I would have liked to finish.
So were you prepared though for the weather to be like rain and thunder? Like when that happened at mile 34 and you had another 70 something to go, were you prepared? And like, I don't know.
And I was so behind on cutoffs too. So like when I caught up with Denise, she passed. She did you throw the what was it, the poncho in my bag?
Yeah, I put a poncho.
I didn't even want it, but she was like, "Here, take it." I was like, "No, I don't want it."
So you're allowed to have crew that you could like maybe Denise could have a pair of dry shoes for you or socks or underwear or whatever and give it to you there, or do you have to carry it?
Yeah, so like at the aid station I met with Denise, like she had our drop bags and stuff, and usually I don't switch shoes on a race. My feet were pretty good. I was having some issues, but the main thing that messed me up was just being so far behind the cutoffs. I just when you're that far behind, I mean, you're on a race like this, it's very hard to make up time on some of those climbs and like some of the terrain and stuff like that. You're working at big time loss right there.
Oh, I was going to see if you were interested in trying it again next year. Like
Oof.
you sound hungry. You're like, all right, I want this.
We were talking about it at the ring. My buddy Aaron Ultimus, he's thinking about doing it, and yeah, I mean it's an awesome race, but it's far, and but I don't know. I mean, like it's a really cool race. At some point I would like to do it again. I gotta think more on that.
You
What-
got plenty of time.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
mile
I gotta
mark?
think on that.
What mile mark did you DNF at?
Oh, so it was pretty sad. Like what happened was Denise and I went forward. Denise only paced me for like 2 miles or something because like yeah, it's like she waited all day for me to get there, and then
Mhm.
I was like, yeah. Well, when we started running together, also it just turned night. It started pouring down rain, and I was just a mess. I didn't want to like. I was bonked out from like trying to catch up on cutoffs a couple times, and that time I got lost. I was like pretty deflated after that, and just like, just wasn't it.
He's very humble. Like he made up an enormous amount of time.
Not enough though.
He did. He made a huge effort to after our friends were done. He made a huge effort to try to make up on the lost time and whatnot. And he did come very far, but it took a hard toll on him because he was running at times. I mean, 10-minute miles. Like you don't want to be doing that. On a 100-miler in the beginning.
Well,
of the race.
the part that I started,
Wow.
it was kind of a good. The part that I sped up on though was kind of a good time to do it though because I didn't think there was gonna be any places you could make up ground like that on the course. But like the spot that I did that on, it was pretty runnable most of it. It was down like I want to say like it was like a snowmobile like trail or something like that. Like so I ran pretty fast on that, and then the power line, there's no elevation there, and a lot of downhill. But once it was time to start, going up climbs again, and it was raining. It was just it was weird out. It was like still pretty warm, but raining at the same time. It was weird. It was a weird day. It was tough.
So
I still give you a lot of credit, man.
I
That's
want
rough.
to go back. I got to get it. I got to get that buckle.
See, he's already
There you
changed
go.
his mind. It didn't take long.
See,
Well,
like not even 2 minutes.
signing up and actually thinking about it, it's two different things. We'll see.
They know how much you race.
Yeah.
So this
Every
is
weekend, he said basically every weekend.
Pretty much.
So this is a first for us. I think John and Denise have stopped recording, and it says you guys ran out of hardware space.
No.
That's a new one. On YouTube, it still shows it. Let's see. This is just part of the experience, man. Part of the experience.
I see nothing weird on my end.
Well, they're not. Oh, I got the notification, and
Oh, well, yeah, because
Erica and I are recording.
How do we? I don't understand what that means.
But on YouTube Live, it still has you guys.
That's really weird.
roll
let's
with it.
Let's just keep rolling because I can
Okay.
take the audio file from YouTube. Hopefully. Refresh your. It said to refresh your browser.
Okay, we'll do that real quick.
You might bump out, but you just come back in. Hi, Erica. How are you? I haven't talked to you in forever.
I'm doing just fine, my bud. How was your business trip?
Business trip was a success.
You were
It
having some
was.
Top Gun moments. I saw that was a lot of fun.
There were so many. The cool thing is when I was there on Tuesday, they were all flying out east, out into the Atlantic Ocean. And then when we're in the Atlantic Ocean, miles out in the ocean, they're all flying back west, to inland. And I'm like, there's an aircraft carrier out here. There's an aircraft carrier. Let's go find it. And the captain of the boat was like, yeah, once you hit 4.9 miles away from an aircraft carrier, they usually radio to you and tell you to turn around. I'm like, damn.
Oh, do not approach.
Yeah. So let's see if they jump
Understandable.
back in here. No, Virginia was fun. Anyone listening, and I don't know if we'll talk about this later, but Erica talked me into running without a shirt on. I was like,
well,
Erica,
A, it was really hot, and B, yeah, why not?
I didn't have many shirts. I didn't want to spoil them, right?
Mm.
I also didn't want to walk through the hotel lobby without a shirt on. And but she talked me into it, and I just found a place to hide my shirt, and some lovely bartender named Marianne took my shirt for me and said, you can hide it here at my bar. It was this outdoor bar. It was nice and all. So
Thanks, Marianne.
Marianne. She was
Hooked him
she's
up.
from Jamaica.
Oh, fun. That's
Marianne
cool.
from Jamaica. Yeah, so it was fun. I ran probably 11 miles. And
Oh, the whole time you were there?
yeah, I ran the down and back the boardwalk both times. This morning early, I got up early.
Guess where I ran today?
You ran on Albuquerque.
Nope. I did trails. I went to Mine Falls. I
Oh,
did some trails. Because I
Mine
actually
Falls is
did pick up
great
a pair of
trails.
shoes. I
It's
picked
great.
up a pair of shoes that I liked. I don't think it was one of John's recommendations, but I got a pair of Topos, Ultra Ventures, something like that. They have a very wide toe box and they're super comfortable, but running on dirt and trails is just hard. I was real tired, but it was today with the heat, and I was like, I'm gonna take some walking breaks here and there.
All right, let me see if he's messaged us. We'll try to find him. I know you and I could talk forever.
Oh
Sent-
yeah,
I
you
sent
usually
something
can.
to you. No, he hasn't. All right, we're gonna end this live and end the recording, and maybe we'll be back